Hey guys, Viking Princess here, back with yet another VR fitness review video. Today we are going to be looking at Thrill of the Fight. Ever since I released my first VR video, this one right here, my comments have been full of check out Thrill of the Fight. Why did you talk about Creed, not Thrill of the Fight? Thrill of the Fight is my favorite. So, here we are. If you are a VR enthusiast just like me, or just looking for easy ways to get in shape, make sure that you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell. I got lots of tips and tricks coming your way. Being active is just one part of a healthy lifestyle, and food is a very important second part. I've left a link in the description below to 5 of my favorite snack recipes for gamers. Super delicious and easy to make, and the recipes in PDF format and video is there free for you to go and grab. If you want a little bit extra motivation, you can also head over to our Discord, where we just started our May challenge, which is a walking activity challenge. And we got some cool prizes from the merch store if you complete it. So definitely don't be shy. Head on over and introduce yourself to the community. Thrill of the Fight is a boxing game that has been out since 2016, which makes it fairly old in the VR world right now. You can definitely tell on the graphics and how the game is laid out that it is one that has a few years under its belt, but it doesn't mean that it is not a super valid game still. Starting up this game, you go straight to a scale. Yep. The scale. The scale is the first thing they give you. That's a little intimidating. Now, it isn't an actual scale, and what it is that as soon as you step onto it, there's a camera that takes your picture, which is actually your height calibration. It is a really, really neat way of doing it and very much on brand, even though stepping on to a scale isn't necessarily the favorite thing for many of us. The user menu is pretty straightforward. On your left-hand side, you have some general instructions. It does talk about how to properly set up your form and do punches, which is really good, but that is the only form of kind of training and technique instruction in this game. You have options of going into a fight, going into a sparring partner, or to any of the opponents that you have unlocked, or you can go and train on the different tools that you can find around the gym. You do have a trainer with you, although he is super creepy, and he kind of just stands there and stares at you. When you go into the fighting ring, he'll kind of cheer a little bit and like, yeah, clap his hands. But other than that, he's just this really weird dude in a red shirt that's always looking over your shoulder. And yeah, I feel like he might give me nightmares. There's no minimal amount of training that you need to do before you go into your rounds. You can go straight into your sparring partner and then into your first match. There are options of putting your difficulty level on easy or normal. And I'm going to admit, I never went away from easy. I've done boxing style workouts for many years. It was some of the first group exercise classes I ever did when I was 15. I'm not going to say how long ago that is, but it's a couple of decades. So this is something I'm very familiar with, but I have never actually fought against another person. So this game definitely challenged me in the sense that I have to not just throw punches, but read my opponent. And I thought it was really cool that the different opponents that you get kind of focus on different things. The last opponent I fought in this game is insanely tall, and when he came at me, I was just, how the heck am I going to deal with this guy? And he kept swinging and swinging, and I was quite intimidated, I'm not gonna lie, until you start realizing that he has no guards on his mid region, and you can just, you know, go to town on his liver. Which then made him drop his guard, and then you can get your hooks in that way. But really tall hook. My shoulder is really sore. The games can get fairly intense and definitely get you working hard. Even on the easy level, I did find that the 3-minute long sessions felt like forever. And if you don't get 3 knockouts in a round, you go to the next round and you have 3 rounds of 3 minutes in each match. Those 3 minutes, if they go the whole time, definitely some of the most intense 3 minutes that I had in a VR. So I completely agree with everyone's comments that this is the game that will get you sweating like crazy. I do enjoy that when you get into the ring, you start the game yourself. Even between rounds, there is a 1-minute countdown and break. I feel that I always needed this minute. Like, seriously, some of those matches really had me exhausted. I really wish that that chair in the corner of the ring was real so I could just have a seat for a second and gather myself. But you can start the match earlier if you want. When you start the match, the opponent gets sent right to you. He's in your face. I have mentioned this on the channel before. I kind of like my space a little bit, and the way that these guys just get right in there and then often start swinging, for a tiny little person like me, that's a little intimidating. But good news is that you do have flexibility with shuffling your feet, and you can move around your opponent. Also, if you do deliver some good hits, they will step away for a little bit. I did have a few matches that only lasted maybe a minute or two. I was just right in there getting that knockout. But I do struggle a little bit with the hit registry and to finding out exactly how I'm hitting. There are color codes that are supposed to give you ideas as to, like, if you have really good hits or if they're critical hits, but they just seem a little random to me. Even when I'm practicing with the doll in the training area, I'm not able to get consistent critical hits. So if this is just a function of the game being a little bit older, or if I just suck, I guess time will tell. If you have any experience with this, feel free to share in the comments below. In addition to your regular matches and your training components, there are some special features or extras. Currently, it looks like there was 3 event type fighters that had been unlocked. Halloween 2017, I believe, was the last one. And giving him a go was, it was funny and frustrating because he's a jack-o'-lantern. He doesn't have a head. How do you knock out a dude that doesn't have a head? I ended up just having a good time with it and laughing. It still made me move. I did not win. It's a neat little feature if you're looking for something a little bit different. As I have talked about when looking at other games, a boxing style workout is incredibly efficient. It really works your upper body and your core, as well as your glutes and legs when you are dodging and moving around your targets. I do find that this game challenged my muscles more than it challenged my cardiovascular fitness. So my arms were getting really, really sore and tired, always having them up for the block, constantly moving and swinging. It's not something I am used to, especially because I did find a lot of the opponent were a lot taller than me. Another problem I do have with this game is that when you are working on your fitness, you do want to make sure that you are challenging each side of your body equally. Obviously, being right-handed, I do favor my right hook. And I found that I was spending a lot more time doing right hooks and right jabs than using my left side. So my right side is really, really sore. My left side is fine, actually. It's not too bad at all. So if you are going into this game and using it as your regular workout, I definitely recommend that you put some conscious effort into using both sides of your body so that you're just getting a more equal workout. I've talked about Creed before, and again, Creed and Thrill of the Fight, kind of the 2 boxing games that gets compared because they're very, very similar. They both include you fighting an opponent in a boxing ring, and then as you are beating your opponents, leveling up to tougher and tougher opponents. The biggest difference, I will say, is that in Creed, you do go through a bit of a training between each round. How good you do in your training when it comes to hit percentage, endurance, speed, those kind of things affect your player stats in the match. And I think that's a really, really, really interesting progression. It does lead to some natural kind of breaks in the game that does take down like an overall heart rate when you play it because you're more in like a roller coaster. Thrill of the Fight has a lot of the same features where you can go into a training arena. I have to say I found it a little bit confusing and complicated working on it. I didn't feel like my boxing gloves hit registry was really good. If I was doing jabs and hooks, it was fine, but I was having a really hard time with my uppercuts, and I actually barely even used them in my fights. I just find that it was really difficult to get a good hit registered on the chin region. Overall, I would say Thrill of the Fight is a wonderful, wonderful alternative to most of the other fitness games that I've been looking at, which are mostly rhythm-based, and I can completely understand how that is not for everyone. So this is a really, really great game that definitely gets you moving. I was drenched playing this for just a couple of minutes. Because of how it's set up, you can just go from match to match to match and really build up stamina and strength and toning your muscles that way. When playing this game, my average heart rate was 129 beats per minute, which makes me burn about 6 calories per minute. This is definitely higher than Creed, but less than games like Box VR. But as I mentioned, I really felt that this game challenged my muscular endurance and strength more than my cardiovascular endurance. Knowing that, using this game in combination with other more cardiovascular challenging games such as Audio Trip could give you a really nice holistic workout. Now, I definitely recommend that you make sure to warm up before you go into your first fight. Even if you do that in the training area in the gym or with a different game. The matches are really intense, and it's kind of like if you're just strolling through the city, realize you are late for your bus and all of a sudden start sprinting. That really awful feeling that you get when you like get to the bus and you're drenched and you're like, oh my gosh, what did I just do to myself? That's what it feels like if you jump straight into this game. So don't do that. Take care of yourself, do a proper warm up, and of course, stretch thoroughly through your shoulder and back region. Once you are done, your body will thank you for it. So to summarize, it is a really great game. It is an older one, and you can tell based on the graphics and function and possibly also the hit registry in the game, it isn't as on point as some of the more recent releases, but it does get you moving very quickly, and it definitely brings up the heart rate and makes you sweat. It is a fantastic alternative to rhythm-based games, and it is definitely going to bring a lot of toning to your upper body. So that summarizes my review of Thrill of the Fight. Let me know in the comments below if you agree with me or not. If you enjoyed the game, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, and of course, subscribe to my channel. Next week, I'll be releasing a video on how to get the most out of your VR workouts, no matter which game it is. So make sure that you press that bell notification so that you don't miss out.